again, my friends, a really quick fall-inspired recipe for you today. Not even really a recipe, more of a assembly of items onto flatbread. We are making apple cheese prosciutto flatbread, and it is going to be delicious. So I am one of those gals that buys store-bought flatbread, but if you know how to make it at home, or you want to use maybe like a focaccia recipe, I have one of those. You can use that for this particular assembly of deliciousness. So the first thing I need to do is I do need to slice this apple because I wanted to do it last minute after I got all of my other ingredients ready. So what I want to do is really thin slices of apple for this one. I don't want big giant chunks. So just do your best with however your knife skills are, and you just want like these really nice little thin pieces. So let me get this done and then we can assemble, and I'll tell you all the other ingredients we're using. All right. Now, you probably won't need an entire apple for this size of flatbread. So don't waste the apple. Make sure you eat it, because an apple a day, I don't know. Now that our apples are sliced thinly, and I also cut some of them in half because they are pretty big, I will tell you we also need prosciutto, some honey, blue cheese. Whoa, blue cheese. I know it's not for everybody, but we're only using a tiny bit of blue cheese in this recipe, so give it a try because it really does blend well with all of these ingredients. But if you're like, Sylvia, blue cheese, too much, try a goat cheese, maybe like any of your favorite crumbly or softer cheeses. That will also work. Brie is also a really great option, but completely different flavor profile. And last but not least, the most important ingredient is caramelized onions. Okay, do you know how to caramelize your own onions? Do you know how to do this? The difference between caramelized onions like this and fried onions is time and temperature. So when you fry onions, it's quick, it's hot, you get them soft, you get them delicious, you're done. With caramelized onions, you need to make sure that you have the patience, which normally I don't, but for this occasion, because it is worth it, you gotta do a really slow, low onion cook with a little bit of butter, and then at the end, I like to turn it up a little bit higher, get all that goodness on the bottom of the pan to start browning so that you get this beautiful color. Okay, let's assemble. This is the best part. We are making our flatbread. Let's do this. The first thing we have to start with as our base is the caramelized onions. This is kind of like your, I guess, sauce at the bottom of a pizza. I don't know. Because this is kind of your wetter ingredient, that's why we're starting with it. And this way, you also get a little bit of this caramelized onion in every single bite. These smell so good. Worth it. Okay, am I doing this quick enough for YouTube cooking shows? Don't answer that, I don't wanna know. Okay, go all the way to the edges. We want a little bit of this in, like I said, every bite. Okay. Let's go with our apples next. Just play Tetris on here and fit them however way you want. Again, we want lots because we want a little bit of everything in every bite. I feel like that's the theme of this recipe, a little bit of everything in every bite. Works for me. Okay, we've got all our apples on. Time to put prosciutto on top. The reason I like putting the prosciutto on top here is because when we bake it in the oven, I'm hoping that the prosciutto will get a little bit crispier instead of putting it underneath where it'll be kind of stringy and pulley. So I like crispy prosciutto, and I've also cut it into small pieces like this so that we can kind of put a little bit all over the place as opposed to just big giant strips, because then you pull on it and it all goes over your chin, and it's not a fun experience to eat it that way. At least not for me. Okay, and I'm not sure if I mentioned, I used about 3 or 4 pieces of prosciutto for this size. Onto the blue cheese. So I've crumbled it into tiny little pieces like this. So just even use your fingers to crumble it as small as possible because you don't want a huge bite. This is a pungent cheese. This is why a lot of people aren't really interested in blue cheese because it's very sharp, it's very pungent, it's a lot. So what I'm suggesting here, even for myself, the lover of all cheeses, you want really, really, really tiny little bits all over the place here. This will make it a much more thrilling and delicious experience if you do it this way. And that is it. You are ready to put this in the oven at 400 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. It should not take very long at all. We are melting the cheese, getting the bread crispy, and that is it. If you happen to have made a ton of caramelized onion like I did, because I like doing it in batches, your other option is to add a little bit on top as well. If you have enough, this is again just optional because then you get more of that sweet, delicious caramelized onion flavor. Quick out of the oven, you can see here my prosciutto is nice and crispy. My blue cheese has melted. Okay. Oh, and the bread is nice and crispy. So, a quick and easy transfer from the pan to my cutting board. Before I get the slicing, I have my honey here for a reason. You gotta give a little drizzle of honey to finish this off. That sweetness will pair so well with the caramelized onions, the crazy intense flavor of that blue cheese, and it will all go so well together. My honey has crystallized a little bit, but that's okay. Once it hits this warm surface, it is going to just melt perfectly. I hope this inspires you to make a fall flatbread in any capacity. This is just one way to add really great ingredients, you know, apples that are in season into a beautiful snack and appetizer, and I'm going to cut into this and enjoy it. Please subscribe to The Silly Kitchen if you haven't already. Come back for another episode. See you next time.